At the end of June, I had £75,134 in a stocks and shares ISA and £217,000 in a Hargreaves Lansdown SIPP. Today we're going to have a look at what stocks paid me dividends throughout June and whether we beat last year. Welcome to Destination Wealth. Okay, so June this year. In the ISA, I had £75,134. That was down about £200 from the previous month. And bear in mind that I pay in about £500 a month into that account. Then it was a negative month for me. To make matters worse, in June, I didn't get any dividends. It's been quite a while since there's been a month where I've not received any dividends in a month for any of the stocks that I own in the ISA. But there we go. That's the way it happens. Nothing to report from the ISA in June, unfortunately. So what we'll do, we'll move. This is going to be a pretty swift video because of that. We're going to move on to the SIPP, and in the SIPP, we only had two companies paid me dividends in the SIPP, which doesn't sound great, but they were pretty good dividends. They didn't make up for the fact that I didn't get any in the ISA, and we'll look at that as well. In fact, let's have a look at that now. So if you look at this, before we move on to the SIPP, if you look at this chart here, then this is the ISA monthly dividends. So you can see from January to June, payments every month apart from this zero here in June, which compared to June 2024, I had £100 worth of dividends that month. So it still stands for the year at 1,167.27, same as last month, and an average monthly income of 97.27 if that's evened out over the 6 months. So at the 6 month mark, we're more than halfway there to beating the 2,000 in the ISA. So that all should come good. Hopefully July will be better. We'll see. Now moving on to the SIPP then. The two payments we had in the SIPP. The first company was a company called Diploma. Now Diploma are in the controls and seals sector. They specialize in fasteners, industrial automation parts, seals, gaskets, hydraulic hoses, fittings for heavy plant machinery, all that sort of stuff. Pretty big company. They're all over the world pretty much. They distribute in the UK, North America, Europe, globally. Diploma have done really well for me. The stock price has increased quite nicely for me since I bought them, and they pay pretty good consistent dividends. In June, Diploma paid me £170.72 in dividends. The second company that paid me dividends in June was a company that pays 4 times a year, and that was Shell. Most people in the UK know Shell are. They're an oil refinery company. They've got petrol stations. They specialise in that side of things. And they paid me a dividend of £211.81 in June. So it's just those two in June. And if we look at the chart for the SIPP monthly dividends, you can see in June that brought me a total of £382.53. Again, pretty heavily down on June 2024. But when you add up those 6 months, because of that huge January, we're already at £3,077.51. And the total for last year was 4,913. So we're at 256.46 average per month. compared to 409 average per month last year. But this is only for the first 6 months of the year. So still looking good, still on track. And then if we look at the total monthly dividends, combining the ISA and the SIPP, now I know there was nothing in the ISA this month, but the total for the month is the same as just the SIPP amount of 382.53. Well down on June last year, because we had that £100 in the ISA last year as well. So we're running at 4,244.78 for the year, an average of 353.73. Looking okay. You know, if it wasn't for those 2 big months, January and February there, then it'd be looking pretty dire. But let's see if it pulls back. Stay tuned. We'll check out July next, but check out this video, you might like it as well.